Okay, hey guys, how's it going? This is Apollo Timbers, Senior Systems Hardware Engineer with Foresight. I'm sending this video in hopes that it'll help you understand how to use the test apparatus I'm sending you. So this is called the Universal Test Case. Basically, it has a magnetic top to get in and out of it a little quicker. Inside, you'll find a Raspberry Pi 4 for now. It is connected to one of the thermal sensors from Mitsubishi, and as you can see, that kind of comes out the front here. Having trouble focusing. This is how you attach it. You're gonna have to reattach a couple times. There's a rubber gasket, the sensor, and then there's I put some thermal 3mm between it and its mounting plate, and that should hold it in pretty well. You shouldn't have mess with the cable. It's soldered on the board, and then there's a simple fan in here to keep everything cold. You need a keyboard, mouse, and a monitor, so just know that going into this. But we'll just throw the case back on there and then show you what you need to do on the computer. So if you see here, I created a folder called Thermal Imager. So we double click that. What you'll see is four things. So first you have a NPY, a NumPy folder. That's where all the NumPy folders are going to be stored. You have a PNG out. PNG is the images. You have a MIR test 13 Python program, and then you have a conversion Python from NumPy to PNG. So how this works is, first, after each test, or just when I send it to you, open up the NumPy file and make sure you delete everything in that, move that to trash. And same with the PNG out. So now, once we do that, we're gonna be ready for the next test because both of the folders that we're gonna be utilizing are empty. Okay, so once we empty the trash, we're good to go. So the first program you want to open to get this thing running is called the MIR test 13. It's a little bit older for us because it still uses something called, so what it does is it still uses visual. You can see it on the screen. We don't need that for our product, so we've taken that out, and it's really increased the frames. So this is going to be a lower frames per second, but it still does a good job of saving it and that you can still look at it. So we'll right click that, and we're gonna go to Thonny, which is a Pi IDE, and we're gonna simply say run. So once we do that, we'll get a GUI up, and this took quite a bit, this SPI code in here, you'll see it. What we wanna do, so there's a fancy button on here called shutter, and it's important, we can't not do that. That has to be the first step. So what you want to do, and this is just to make your everything better, you want to cover this sensor with something. It doesn't matter what it is, but just cover it. So I'm just going to set that here, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to click shutter. You don't have to spam it, you just have to click it once. It's done doing what it needs to do. So now I can remove that. We fix this in later revisions. So now the sensor is free and ready to go. So now we come back here, and there's two options that we have. We can continuously watch frames on screen, but not save them. I'm not gonna do that because the next version I'm gonna show you does the exact same thing except saving frames. So what we're gonna do is click on continuous frames. We're gonna double click NumPy folder and say okay. Now, it's gonna go ahead and start the thermal imaging device, and it's already recording me just here. If I can focus in a little better. The camera doesn't, oh, there we go. Ta-da! So it's working, and it's just a little slower frames than some of our newer stuff, but I think it'll be good for you guys. Okay, so once we have that, we can come back in here and have the phone maybe do its thing and say stop. That's gonna stop the program completely. We're gonna say stop on Thonny. We're just gonna move that to the side real quick. And now we're gonna look. There shouldn't be anything in PNG out, because all we told it to do is write frames to this, and we do have frames. So it looks like we have 31 frames from our thermal imaging. The thing is, these are NumPy files. They're basically just a bunch of values that we can't see or understand. So what I did is I created a test program for you guys that's called NumPy to PNG converter. So what that's going to do is take these files in here, convert them to PNG, and write them out to PNG out. So you need both of these files for this to work, but it will batch those files. So we're going to right click this. Again, go to Thonny. It's going to open it in the same terminal. Doesn't really matter. We're going to click run. It's going to run for a minute, and then it's going to say, hey, I converted 31 files and I flipped it 180. We had to do a bit of a flip just because of how it's mounted in the case. So we're going to say stop. We're good with that. So now we should have 31 images in PNG out, and we do have 31 items. So we can double click those and cycle through them. And if I can go 30 frames per second, we'll have a video. But there you have it. That's how you use it. If you've got any more questions, don't hesitate to reach out. But like I said, this was a significant ordeal to talk to the sensor. So I hope you guys appreciate this code and appreciate the test apparatus. And like I said before, if the building's on fire, you run out with this first. This is my baby. It's the first thing I ever made for Foresight. So other than that, thanks guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.